Good afternoon. Just logging in here to continue week 2 of our 30-day cold calling sessions. 30 days, 1 hour a day cold calling to land a real estate deal. One deal will change your life. If you're new to real estate, looking to get that first deal underway. We've been doing cold calling and we've seen a variety of results. Some days better answer rate than others. We actually have to follow up today on one of the prospects we spoke to yesterday evening, and we're going to continue plugging away on our list here. So with that said, we got an hour. Let's go ahead. Let's dive right in. All right. Got a no answer. That seems to be not too uncommon with cold calling. A lot of no answers or hangups. That's okay because the people we're trying to connect with are those that have problem properties, in which case we have okay. As you guys are aware, or may not be aware if you're just jumping on now, it's good practice to go ahead and at the beginning of each call session, go ahead and make a test call. Make sure that the phone number you're calling from is not flagged as spam. We verified that last night, and from what I saw, it looked like that there was no issues. All right, so this one's showing a pre-foreclosure scenario. That's interesting. All right, so what I do is each record that pops up, our current platform has SMS, which is currently down, and also any previous phone calls. Also has data if it's available on that particular property record, and also a Zillow link. So when I'm talking to the homeowners, I try to bring that up. Sometimes it'll give a bed bath count, maybe some photos from previous listings, and in this case shows a pre-foreclosure. Now, if I'm looking at my property record, I don't see a tag of pre-foreclosure or foreclosure. So this is another level of motivation because they're absentee. So motivated. All right. I didn't really expect to get him on the phone. Truth be told, for pre-foreclosures and foreclosures, they're getting inundated with a lot of people reaching out to them, creditors, the banks, the lenders, etc. And a lot of times, unfortunately, these homeowners will just stick their head in the sand and they won't do anything. So again, I wasn't too surprised to get them on the phone. That's why I used to, when I first started out, when I was targeting closures, door knocking is the avenue that I went with. Now, that's not for the faint of heart. It's like jumping into the lion's den. Somebody is going to potentially lose their home, and they're not selling in most cases by choice. So it's your job to pretty much inform them of, hey, here's certain options that are available, and try to come to a win-win solution. Fortunately, you can't help all the homeowners that are facing foreclosure, and there are many of which who don't want any assistance for whatever reason. Nonetheless, just like we're doing now, we're looking for that small subset of the people that do want our help, and we just have to go ahead, reach out to them, and again, convey and explain options to them in an easy to understand fashion. So I always say, speak the language of the homeowner so they can follow what it is that you're offering, or whatever options you're providing. At the end of the day, a confused person will shut down and neglect or deny any potential services because they don't understand what's fully involved. So just waiting to load this next lead, and not really sure, but we're encountering this lovely delay that seems to pop up now and then. Okay, so this has got to be system related. You guys hear me talk about the benefits of automation systems, but also comes challenges. So it's always good to be able to build those fundamental skills, such as cold calling or being able to talk to homeowners and close the deal. However, or when you're dependent on technology and you haven't developed those skills, then you'd be dead in the water, so to speak. So let's try a new window here. We'll be underway shortly. We'll have to figure this out. I believe it's just a cache error issue, but again, because this is a rebadged platform, there's a lot of layers involved. So, okay, that's loaded. Again, the prospect leads that we're currently targeting is absentee owners. Yesterday, you guys heard me discuss about multiple levels of motivation, and I just went into that briefly with the pre-foreclosure. So when we're prospecting certain homeowners in certain areas, when you have multiple levels of motivation, so for example, someone being out of state may have a little bit of motivation, but if they're out of state, if the house is vacant, maybe there's a problem tenant, maybe they're behind on taxes, all these issues will compound and increase, in theory, the motivation level of the seller. So if you're focusing on a small subset of people, that may be the best use of your efforts to go ahead and target those that are most likely going to be open to selling the property. All right, we're back. Let's see if we can make this through without any more hiccups. All right. No answer for Miss Irma. Let's hope this next lead loads. If I encounter too much issues with this, I'm just going to switch over to our other CRM, and that really has leads that we've spoken to for over 10 years, really. And we'll just continue following up with them, because doing one phone call every couple minutes is just not conducive. All right. There's a whole slew of errors. Let's see if we're past that. Oh for 5. That's all right. Once we get our cadence underway, we'll be able to talk to some people. Oh for 6. I'm missing that dialer. It's all good. We will plow through, make it happen. Okay, I'm going to do what I did yesterday. As I mentioned, I usually leave voicemails, but given the short time constraints, I want to get more calls. I pretty much leave the same voicemail each time. Pretty straightforward, simple, and you can review the previous calls from last week if that interests you. But in light of time constraints, I want to get some calls in. All right. Just after 2, I have a call for the gentleman I spoke to yesterday. Told me to call him after 2, so we're going to give him a few minutes, drop him a line. No name on that record. Interestingly enough, seeing a lot of Esters. The gentleman we have to follow up with, his name's Esther. Actually popped up twice. I believe they're different, but okay, we're going to go ahead and make a couple more, and then we're going to reach out to my man, Esther, and see if he is a motivated seller. He could sell us his property at a number that makes sense. All right, we are about 15 or so calls in. Limited action today. Limited action so far. That's all right. Want to plow through these non-motivated people, no answers. Get one step closer to that motivated seller. That may have been the old seller anyway. It looked like there was a sale this past December. So unless they were an investor, landlord, somebody that has a big portfolio package, it's probably a one-off sale. All righty. It is a quiet day. We're going to give a couple more minutes to my man Esther, and we'll do our follow-up, see if we can make something happen. All right, one more, and then we're going to drop my man a line. All right, so we're going to switch over. That was 20 calls. And let's go ahead, see if I can find that property record. All right, there it is. All right, so we'll bring this up. Give me a little info about the property. All right, so Zillow's not really showing me much. We'll go ahead and give him a call, see what Esther says. Hey, Esther, this is Ryan. We spoke yesterday evening, and you told me to give. How you doing? I was just calling about a property I think you own on Pennington Ave, and I'm looking for properties in Trenton, so I figured I'd give you a call, see if you had any interest in selling. Good price. Okay. What does a good price look like to you? What does a good price seem like to you? What do you have a number in mind? Okay, not a problem. I definitely can get you that. I just need a little info about the property so I can run some evaluations and then get you a number. Just oh, I'm sorry. Let me. What is this? A property manager? Oh, sounds like you have a couple properties. You do? Okay. Um, what's the number? Okay. Okay. All right. Great. Who am I be speaking with? I'm sorry, Esther. Who am I calling at that number? Young. All right. Let's give this a ring. Mm-mm-mm. All right, so let's give these people a call. I have no idea who they are. Probably a management company. All right, so let's update the notes. I'm just curious. All right, nothing on Google on that number. Let's give it a ring. Hi, how you doing? Great, great. I was given this number. I'm sorry, I don't have your name, but I believe it's one of your clients. His name's Esther, and he owns a property on Pennington Ave, and he told me to give you guys a call to get more information. Are you a relative or a property manager? Oh, okay. All right, that sounds good. Well, I was calling about 318 Pennington Ave, and just wanted to get some more info as far as bass or anything like that. What do I want from? Oh, I just wanted to know like how many beds and baths, rough condition, and if it's rented, if so, for how much. Call you at a time? Oh my gosh. All right. So he's not too friendly. That's a property manager. Esther, man, if that was my property manager, I wouldn't be too happy. That's not too personal at all. But at any rate, we're going to keep it moving. We'll plug that in. And I probably would even follow up with him. If our text message was working, I would shoot a follow up text, try to get some info that way. What I could do is, considering it looks like he's got some other properties, I could go ahead, take a deeper dive, see if there's any other properties that are owned from this seller. If he has an LLC that owns multiple properties, and try to do a little due diligence that way. But nonetheless, we'll follow up with that one later. So that was interesting. With property manager hanging up on people. Next record. Saw those error messages yesterday, having the gatekeeper to prevent robocalling, but then it's a dead number. All right, just shy and about just shy of 30 minutes in. That's a shame. I like the way that looked. I brought up the Zillow record. It looked like a house that needs a good amount of work. Let me try to call again. Yeah. Maybe he did forward a voicemail. All right. Well, we'll try that on the next round. All right. So one thing, one of my VAs that does a lot of calls for me mentioned was that when we're doing cold calling, a lot of times people won't answer on the first ring, and if we really want to get a hold of them, we'll put our efforts on following up with them daily, so that within a week we may try to reach out to them 3 or 4 times. In which case, they're usually more likely to answer, as opposed to just seeing one and done sort of thing. So again, we haven't gone through this entire list even once yet. That's because we're only doing an hour a day. In theory, for the hour each day of last week, that just would have been one day of cold calling. So we are working off limited hours, but nonetheless, we're plugging away. And even at those numbers, we should be able to get a deal here. But doing that consistent follow up is definitely key on both ends. Get a hold of. All right, we are just over 30 minutes cold calling, 1 hour a day. You guys are hopping on. We're doing an hour a day of cold calling. And this is for those that are still looking to land their first real estate deal. We're showing you how we can go ahead and do that by cold calling an hour per day consistently for 30 days. All right. Little bit, a little quiet, a little quieter than yesterday. It's all right. You guys hear me say it's a numbers game, right? Ooh, right to voicemail. There are motivated sellers that need to sell their problem property. The question is, who's it going to be? You or somebody else? Levi, appreciate the brother. Hope you're doing awesome. Little lag here. We got through 30 calls before this issue started. Come on. Seems like every once in a while this thing has a big issue. My only guess is something gets queued up and causes this massive delay, and then things just flood through. All right. So I'm trying to bring up the window here again so we can continue calling. Let's see if that did the trick. So my screen freezes, unfortunately, every so often while it's loading this this data. All right, so let's go ahead. We're going to exit out of this fully. Try to bring this up again. 30 days of 1 hour a day cold calling. We are calling absentee owners looking for properties that they're looking to sell quick. So we've loaded a few lists. We've been prospecting absentee owners for the most part. And and we're just trying to bring that list back up so we can continue calling onwards. So there we go. This system is very, very detailed. You have a huge dashboard. I mean, it's very intricate, but nonetheless, it's not required, especially when you're just starting out. These tools are beneficial once you have, a few deals underway, once you're building your team and you need to scale, but you're bottlenecking the business. So I wouldn't recommend doing what I'm doing long term, this manual call. I'd recommend getting some kind of dialer or some kind of platform that allows you to make calls a little faster and, without these delays. So, all right, we're back. See if we could finish this out without any other delays. Holy shit, what is this thing? So this property I just brought up is on a really rough street, and I'm just looking, I'm kind of laughing because it's a really rundown property with nothing on either side. I don't even know what the hell we would do with that one. All right, no worries, they didn't answer. There's some interesting prospects, that's for sure. Street. There's some rough streets popping up. No worries. That was a war zone. On to the next. See you later. Hi, I was looking for Joel. Hi, my name is Ryan, and he doesn't know me, but I was just calling about a property I believe he owns on Cleveland. Oh, that was quick. All righty. So I usually prefer to speak to the decision maker. Um, I don't like to go through any intermediaries. So, nonetheless, I don't know if that's a girlfriend, wife, whatever it may be, but we could try them in the future. All right, there's the 10 quick calls. All right, minimal answer rate today. You guys heard me mention yesterday about when we're sourcing lists and also talking about the multiple levels of motivation. Um, it could be that this is just a very high level list where we said anybody that is an absentee owner, basically that's not their primary residence, it's a second home, and go ahead and put them on the list, and we'll reach out to them, as opposed to a more narrowed down list, such as, they're an absentee owner, but they also have owned it for 10 plus years, and a couple other criteria. Maybe we'll eliminate condos or land or whatever, and just really niche it down. Maybe, look at other levels of motivation, and in which case we'll have a lot smaller list, but we'll have a lot more motivated, consolidated list of sellers. So in theory, your answer rate should be a lot better. All right. It's lag again. Jeez. That's amazing. So every 10 or so calls, it seems to run into this problem. This is nuts. We got to figure this out. All right. I'm going to go ahead and load the other campaigns. These are our follow-ups. You were touching base on these halfway through the session. All right, so I'm going to do that. Let's see, we're about 44 minutes in. We're going to do some follow-ups, see if this list loads properly. So I'm going to start from the oldest records in this list onward. So we may have had, or we're supposed to maybe follow up with them. Maybe it fell between the cracks. So I want to talk to those which are oldest first. All right, so again, I'm looking, just trying to get an idea of any previous correspondence, any notes that are on the property. That way I can incorporate that into the conversation if needed. Do we have any information beyond the address now? Okay, let's see if we can get Nancy on the phone. Hello, Nancy. It's Ryan. We spoke about a year ago about your property on Gwendolyn Drive, and you showed a little bit of interest in selling at the time. Just wanted to follow up with you. We're buying properties in the area, and just wanted to know if you had any interest in selling. Do me a favor, give me a call when you get a chance. You can reach me anytime on this number. That's 973. Where did it go? Well, why don't you try this? I'm sorry. Looks like our system. So do me a favor, give me a call on 973-699-3804. Once again, 973-699-3804. Thanks. Talk to you soon. So, hey, I made a mistake there, right, on the voicemail. But interestingly enough, I'm looking at where we're calling, and it didn't load the number. So I don't know which number this actually called from. I had to give her my backup cell phone number. But it would probably help if we can get that, so I can leave a proper phone number on her voicemail. So let me go ahead and try to bring that up. This apparently is calling from a different number that we were using yesterday. So actually, you know what? I'm just going to call my cell phone. So there, hey, listen, right? Mistakes are going to happen, but just continue to Not the end of the world. Okay. So I guess it was the same number. I don't know why it didn't pop up, but okay, we got that. Let's go ahead, see if we can get in touch with one of these motivated sellers that we've spoken to previously. All right, he says, I'll reach out. I have the number. I'll reach out when I'm ready to sell. I could send him a text follow-up. Hey, John, how you making out? Okay, this gentleman says, not my property. So we don't want to call them. Wonder how that happened. It was in our follow-up campaign, and somehow it says it's not his property. That's interesting. All right. So I'm trying to read a little bit of the notes so that I can incorporate that on the phone call, especially if you heard yesterday where they didn't have any knowledge. They didn't remember speaking to us previously. So they ended up hanging up the phone. But we did have a whole entire history of speaking to them and text messages. All right. All right. Actually, this one is in a wrong. We already had all that information, so that should have been recharacterized. That's not a deal for us. There we go. All right, let's check this one out. All right. All right. That looked like an interesting property I would have liked to discuss with that guy. All right, so we're going through cold calling. Right now, we're actually doing follow-ups. This is our Rekindle campaign. They may have corresponded with us previously or said, yeah, but not at this time. Or maybe it was a lead that was warm and then kind of fizzled out. So we're following up and seeing if we could revive those. So, and as I'm seeing now, when I bring this record up, this just sold 2 months ago. So again, I see the follow-ups on our end. If you have a very consistent and solid follow-up system, it's just, you're not going to get every deal. And it's also about timing, right? I mean, you could potentially be sending out countless mailers for a year plus, and then somebody else sends it, on a month that you didn't send it, and it just happened to be the right time. All right. All right. So a lot of these have a little bit more details. I don't want to waste too much time scanning through, reading through all the notes. I just want to get through some more of these. All right. So all right, this guy says follow up in January, so doesn't make sense to give him a call now. All right, not at this time. That's rather recent. So the good news is my team and my systems are pretty solid with this follow-up campaign. And in this scenario, unfortunately, we're not dealing with the gatekeeper. So let's just go ahead. Let's just try to make some way. All right. So this person replied back in May. We haven't heard from them since. So this is a perfect rekindle prospect. All right. This person says September. Okay, so we're on that. He gave us a number. No need to call him back. That was another good prospect. Had some correspondence, then they fell off. So what I like to do is, if let's say you have good correspondence on the phone, and then you have some correspondence via text, and then they drop off. Well, kind of switch it up again. Give them a call on the phone, leave a voicemail, try different angles. If let's say you had correspondence through SMS, and then that dropped off, like I would kind of alternate, sometimes even follow up. If you have an email and whatnot, just try to stay on top of them. Obviously, be respectful if they don't want to be bothered and they say take them off the list, and take them off the list. But you never know what's going on in people's lives. Again, having very little time these days with twins and all that other stuff. There's things that I have and good intentions of getting back to some people, and it just falls through. In which case, I am appreciative that they actually took the initiative, followed up with me, and was able to continue the conversation onward. So let's see. All right, so that's interesting. This is a first. This person said that they want to sell, but they're doing a 1031, and they just haven't found anything yet. So my suggestion, I haven't seen this. I would have said, hey, I'm a licensed agent. Where are you looking? Can I send you some photos? Or just link them up, with another agent we may be working with that could better serve them. But if that was the only hang up, I'd be working hard to find them something so that we can get, lock up that deal. All right, this should be a good follow up. It's been about 7 months since we talked. Okay, that was a nice property. I'm guessing that there wouldn't be too much motivation. That's in a very good area down the shore, and there is no shortage of buyers. So, would he sell to us? Not likely, but still worth having a conversation. I've seen many times certain types of properties or homeowners. I made certain assumptions, and just to find out later on that I was completely wrong. So I'd rather be told no than again to make that assumption and miss out on a deal. All right, see how we're doing on time. Almost at the hour mark, and I hear the twins crying already. Let's try to get a couple more in here before we sign off. Mr. William. So again, guys, I would be voicemails. I like, even though most are not returned, it doesn't take long to go ahead and leave a message real fast. And if they're motivated, they will call you back. But for sake of time and our system, we're not doing that just yet. So. Hey, Mark, this is Ryan. We spoke to you a few months ago about your property on Franklin Road. Last we spoke, you mentioned that you were looking probably in the spring or summer. So we just wanted to drop you a line, see if now's a good time. We're actively looking for properties. Do me a favor, give me a call. You can reach me anytime on my cell phone. That number is 973-577-5046. Once again, 973-577-5046. Thanks. Talk to you soon. All right, so we're going to end on that. We got another minute. We're going to get one more in. But to me, that's a good prospect, right? Hey, they weren't looking at the time. We're looking at the notes here, and they seem definitely open to selling. It's not listed on the open market, and from what I see, it hasn't sold just yet. So we will keep you in the loop with my man Mark over there. And let's just go ahead. Get out one more call. One more call. Hey, is this Layla? Hey, Layla. My name's Ryan. You spoke to us on and off probably for the past 9 months, and I was just following up with you regarding your property on South Cook Ave, see if you had any interest in selling. Great. Okay. I don't have any of the information on file just yet. Do you have a moment? Could you just tell me a little bit about the property so I can get you over a cash offer? Oh, so she's is she like a licensed agent or? Oh, okay. So do you want me to give her a call and discuss this with her? Oh, okay. I'll tell you what. Is it okay? Can I give you my information and she can call me? All righty. All right. So that's a challenging one, right? So the lady sounded like she wants to sell. She has a niece that handles everything, and she said she's an agent, so she'll be handling it. Unfortunately, that sounded like there was some other potential pain or reservation that she had. Um, so I'll make notes here, and then I could always see if we wanted to send them. If we really, really love the property and whatnot, we can go ahead, shoot a letter, and try to navigate from there. But nonetheless, obviously, if she's doesn't want to give her niece's info, I'm not really sure what that was about. But nonetheless, we have the ability to follow up later, and maybe we'll get her at a time which makes more sense. So with that being said, we are going to sign off for today, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow afternoon, we'll do another hour of calls. We're doing this for 30 days so that we can go ahead and land a real estate deal by just doing 1 hour a day for 30 days. And as I've been saying, if you're new to real estate and you haven't done your first deal, land one deal, change your life in 30 days. So with that being said,